Okay, yeah. I got this advanced material melding in between, and here you can see what I meant. 80% chance this melt will 80% chance to succeed. There's a chance this melt may fail. So if I try to melt this materia in there, there's a 20% chance the materia just gets lost and I get nothing out of it. Anyway, back to the crafting. Practical alchemy. You disturbed me the most delicate stage of my experiment. Your timing is, let's just say, my dear assistant, your timing could not be more fortuitous. For you see, once again my incorrigible colleagues have foisted upon me a most unstimulating assignment. You can imagine my consternation at this continued effrontery, but when I consider the ease with which you performed your prior task and my desire to find a greater challenge to test your alchemical aptitude, the solution to this onerous situation becomes glaringly obvious. Thus do I turn over this misappointed duty to a more fitting recipient. Your task this day is to manufacture a pinch of highest quality natron. You do understand this order cannot be fulfilled with any average sample, yes? But I feel I must warn you, the quest for greater quality may ensnare you with an entirely new level of obsession. Yeah, and this is a level 25 quest, that requires, as always, your first high quality item. Now, I did that already doing, doing leveling. I did some natron, so, let's just make one more just for demonstration purposes. Natron. Come on. Nah, not that good, but okay. This requires a bit of luck, so... Or, maybe I'm just too stupid to do it. Who knows? How fare you in your quest for quality natron? I understand only too well the lure of attaining perfection, but for an alchemist the timing of result must also be a consideration. As I said, I did a few in between. Let us inspect the fruits of your labor. Yes, the substance is indeed natron, and what a pinch of powdery magnificence that it is. With this level of quality, it will perform wonders in any field of application. I would not be surprised to see our client return time and again for more and more. You shall be doomed to create nothing but your wondrous powder for the rest of your living years. Lest you think that a jest, I would have you realize the sheer range of practical use for this material. It is found in the manufacture of glass, the treatment of wool, and even the mixing bowl of culinarians. Though alchemy is required to produce natron, the substance is of far greater value to many other disciplines. In this way, the benefits of alchemical discovery find their way into every facet of civilized life. The era when the alchemists were branded as crazed heretics is all but a forgotten page in the history books. Not that I'm overly concerned with such opinions. The current attitude of acceptance merely allows me to continue my research with relative freedom, you understand? The manner in which my work might eventually be put to use is of little interest to me compared to the results themselves. I do not seek to contribute to the well-being of society, nor amass a glittering fortune overnight. No, my entire being is focused upon one thing, and one thing only. Soon I will have one last task for you to perform. Once done, I shall permit you to assist me during my ascent to the absolute pinnacle of alchemy. What does he mean with the absolute pinnacle of alchemy? We will find that out when we continue this questline. Until then, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Once more, here in the Alchemist Guild with the Severian, our alchemist teacher. Aha! I see you have further immersed yourself in the bog of alchemical pursuit. The time is ripe to once more gauge the degree of mastery you have thus far attained. And as if by divine providence, a task suited to just such a purpose has recently landed on my workbench. The client requests the creation of 3 high-quality flasks of weak blinding potion. A sublime toxin indeed. Do not flinch from a mention of poison. If one means to learn the art of preserving life, one must also become intimate with death and destruction. Yes, with but a single spoonful of a chosen concoction, alchemy can restore health or cause grievous harm. This is a perfect initiation into the deepest secrets of our discipline. Do not tarry a moment longer. To work! Yeah, I prepared in advance. Take care that the blinding potion you concoct are especially efficacious, and the creation of such exquisite dangerous substances is a reward in itself. Yeah, effective on most targets up to level 20. And I think potions eventually just entirely stop being a thing, at least these attack potions. Gentle now, gentle. Yes, one can almost grasp the strands of inky darkness swirling within these baleful brews. Though it may appear lethal, this concoction is not designed to steal life, only sight. An unpleasant mix of bad remnant and quicksilver. My eyes begin to water just at the thought of the ingredients. Such potions as you have created hold the potential for all manner of dastardly deeds. Bear the flask with pride as you deliver them into the hands of a Mikotelas who awaits you in Pearl Lane. And no, I have not forgotten her name. She apparently did not give one when she left the order. I only know that the lass is affiliated with one of Ulda's resident bandit gangs. Swiftly now, let us not test her patience. Serious, Severian? Here, the head potion brewer's lackey, are you? Let's have a good one. I see Severian did nothing to put a stop to this. He should know full well the consequences of handing over such dangerous substances to a criminal organization. Confused? I'm the Bulair of the Sultan Sworn. I infiltrated the notorious robber gang, Velvet Hands, after learning of their plans to attempt a bloodless haste at the palace. An attempt I can only assume is meant to emulate Mistbeard in his legendary act of larceny. These blinding potions were to be a key element in their scheme. Wondering how your guildmaster was handled such a request from such an unsavory element, I insinuated myself into the position to receive the delivery. His lack of restraint is disappointing, but not entirely unexpected. He's not the man he once was. Oh, certainly, Severian has always had a passion for his work, but ever since the tragic events of a calamity, it has become an all-consuming obsession. Your superior may as well have appended one of these flasks over his own head for the little he sees of a world that flows unnoticed around him. Would you take a message back to the guild for me? I want you to tell Severian to cease this insane quest of his. At first, I thought the distraction of his research might prove beneficial, but he has lost all sense of self-control. No, my sister would never countenance this destructive behavior. I will have the nausea returned to me. You were absent too long. Too long, your delivery was well received, yes? She demanded that I return the nausea? I see you met the cold-hearted, conniving Verbulaire. I have not the slightest intention of giving up on the nausea now. I must remain focused on the successful culmination of my greatest experiment, so that she might finally... so that I might tell her... Nah, but these matters have no place in our discussion. Once again, you have spared me a bothersome interruption and proven your alchemical expertise in doing so. From this day forth, I shall think of you no longer as my lackey, but as an assistant in truth. Soon we shall we achieve the ultimate expression of alchemy. I bid you return to your study and prepare for the glorious moment. Eagerly I have waited your return, my able assistant. Does your chest not ache with the intake of every excited breath? Do you not tremble in joyous anticipation as your hands reached forth, seeking to nudge open the door into the realm of alchemy's most sought-after secrets? You do? Well, try to ignore that feeling for now. Before we can fully commit ourselves to our research, there remain a few irksome details that must first be addressed. As ever, I speak of these unending orders from the guild. Brew this potion, concoct that elixir. Surely you grow as wary as I of these constant demands of our precious time. We must be allowed to concentrate. I have an idea to end this nibbling distractions, and it involves you. March over to Daytrich's desk and petition for a complete cessation of these interruptions. I handled it myself, but I fear the man has become unheedful to my words. Master Severian demands to be spared from any further official guild duties. I'm a simple receptionist. How can I possibly deflect the expectations of our senior members? His obsessive research is wearing thin the patience of both colleagues and clients alike. I fear if we do not restore at least a modicum of goodwill, his attempts to redirect tasks will be met with the staunchest of opposition. I doubt our guildmaster realizes the precarious state he finds himself in. It is only substantial skill in alchemy that convinced others to tolerate his growing eccentricity. That said, many would gladly trade that skill if it would return him to his former, somewhat less manic self. Nay, it was not always like this, but ever since the calamity robbed him of his one true love, I have witnessed him transform into this feverish madman, desperately racing through experiment after experiment. I'll delve into areas best left unexplored. We should return to the topic at hand. Of the various orders the guild needs met, the one of the highest priority is a request for a vial of high ether, commissioned by one of our more valued patrons. I would suggest you lend your focus to that particular assignment and create an uncommonly potent sample for delivery. Perhaps then it would be enough to both satisfy the patron and allow enough forbearance to free the guildmaster of other tasks. I hesitate to encourage this kind of behavior, of course, but I realize what Master Severian's work means to him, and I would be grateful if you could keep an eye on him. I fear for his well-being, and you are the closest thing he has to a friend. Well, did you browbeat that Daytrish fellow into submission? A conditional surrender. I suppose a single vial of high ether is a small price to pay, but let it not be said that my assistant fails to deliver. You will need to employ advanced, and somewhat involved, alchemical techniques to produce the elevated quality of high ether required. Best you begin at once. Okay, then. Luckily, both items are high quality. Both are essential. Distilled water is, yeah. How does your work progress? Have you succeeded in concocting that remarkably efficacious high ether? One for you, two for me, I guess. Yes, rejoice, my impressively adept assistant, for you have forged the key to our freedom. Who could not be moved by such a masterful example of mana-restoring splendor? Mayhap your post-assistant career lies in the manufacture of this wonderful substance. You would, I suspect, need to purchase coffers that they might overflow with coin, even among alchemy's more incredible inventions. The manufacture of ether stands out as a singularly profitable venture. It's an innovation that changed the face of battle. Mages were no longer limited by the natural reserves of etheric energy. A few swallows of alchemical brilliance, and a sorcerer could fuel another barrage of spells. Unfortunately, that is not true in-game, because ether has ridiculously high cooldown, and the MP it restores are minor. It cannot, of course, sustain their power indefinitely. As we have already discussed, any potion taken in excess becomes the equivalent of poison. Oh dear, was I lecturing again? It's difficult to contain my passion for alchemy with the goal of my labors looming so close on the horizon. You have accomplished a minor miracle today, my dear assistant, and with all obstructions to our research thus adroitly removed, let us move on to a final stage of experiments. Ba ba ba. Where have you been, my tardy assistant? I feared I would have to begin applauding myself. Did you bring the wine to toast this momentous occasion? No? Well, no matter. Let us not waste time with extraneous celebrations. The ecstatic rush of triumph within my breast has me sufficiently intoxicated, for I have at long last unlocked the secrets of the ultimate expression of alchemy. After countless hours of research and experiments, too numerous to mention, I finally hold in my hand the exact recipe required to effect my heart's desire. Come, my astute apprentice, together we shall swing wide the gates of alchemical history. You will aid me by concocting a share of the necessary ingredients. Your task entails the creation of 3 high potions of strength, and as you have most likely deduced, there should be brews of extraordinary potency. While you are mixing those vials of vigor, I will be occupied with my own preparations. There's much work to be done for both of us. Well, Do you have those high potions for me? Remember, all the most splendid samples are suitable for a process this demanding and delicate. I have them here. I shall have to improve the quality of the materials I prepared if they are to be successfully combined with yours. Merely holding on to the vials, I can feel tendrils of might seeping into my very frame. You've done well to preserve the power inherent in the limbs of a Bog Yarzan. Why, these concoctions would imbue even the scrawniest of men with strength to rival Rhalga himself. If all of the ingredients match this level of quality, our success in this endeavor is assured. Did I fail to mention exactly what this most ambitious of alchemical processes was intended to achieve? Well, rather than inconvenience us both with an extremely lengthy and technical explanation, it may be faster for me to simply exhibit the results. This is, after all, the culmination of years of dedication and sacrifice. It may very well be that my efforts will end in misery, but one must at least make an attempt, or suffer the endless guilt of inaction. The time for talk is at an end. I will now begin the process. From this moment onward, I must needs have unbroken concentration and solitude. Your devoted assistance has been most appreciated. Aside from myself, you shall be the first to discover what the ultimate alchemical technique has achieved. It was a bit quicker than I had expected, so I need to make a cut here to prepare for the last two quests. We are back here at Severian, by now level 50, so let's start on the level 45 quest. This is beyond comprehension. My experiments were conclusive, and yet there remains some fatal flaw in the process. Where does the fault lie? The method? The materials? The interpretation of the results? Must I resort to thaumaturgy after all? No, such energies will waste naught but the mockery of life. What an utter failure. I must retrace my steps. Start again from the beginning. No matter how many times it takes, I will see my alchemy succeed. You, assistant, bring me 3 mega potions, one of intelligence, mind, and vitality, and they must be of unquestionable quality. I cannot afford excuses. I need you to... Please, my friend. I need your help. And I have once more prepared. Come on, lock. Quite a lot of work because 3 items. The mega potions, dear assistant, please. Intelligence, mind, vitality. And do not think to fool me with some batch of mediocre marvels. Yes. Yes, these are suitably superb. As ever, your work is swift, precise, and uncommonly brilliant. Black Scorpion to sharpen the wit, Ariman membrane for the mind, and boiled grenade ash to fuel vitality. All unnecessary components in the alchemical process I attempted earlier, the self-simulation ended so abominably. On that matter, I offer my apologies. I was so unwaveringly confident of success that my failure put me in a frenzy to gather a new batch of reagents post-haste. And to manage such a feat quickly meant I could not do it alone. I was able, however, to prepare another incomparable mega potion of strength while you are at work on these potations. Properly combined, these four of the primary attributes, strength, vitality, intelligence, and mind, can effect a mortal resurrection. And now, my dear assistants, you understand what I hope to achieve with this highest of alchemy. Does the revelation shock you? Did you think the dead beyond our reach? That is certainly the common perception, and even I am forced to acknowledge the seeming insanity of my actions. But I believe in alchemy's unlimited potential. It was the cause of my regret, and it shall be the cause of my salvation. I have spent too long on this path to veer from it now. Do you recall the time we spoke of Venaja? She was the elder sister of Ubelea, Mikoto, to whom you delivered those potions of blindness. Venaja is my one and only love. She was taken from me during the calamity. But I will see her again. I will not rest until the day I can tell her the one thing she must know. Okay, let's see how this all ends. Is that you, my lawyer assistant? I've done it. I've isolated the flaw. My understanding of the process was incomplete. Simply reviving Venaja's corporeal form was insufficient. In order to call her spirit and bind it to her body, I need an anchor of sorts, some manner of memento that she would recognize. But I have no such physical memorial. No material object that she might have treasured. That is why I would have you visit her sister, Vibulea, and ask if she might spare me a keepsake. Meanwhile, I will start to prepare... A moment of dizziness. Nothing more. If I must, I shall work in my sleep. It would not be the first time, but if all goes to plan, such extremes should not be necessary. Severian needs something of Venaja's, something she treasured. She yet persists in this madness of his. I do not, as Severian believes, seek to forget my dear sister. There are still nights when I lie awake, wishing I had the power to change the past. Venaja and I were once insatiable wanderers, you see. We traveled the world, practicing the art of conjuring. It was in Ul'dah, however, where we found a home, and where Venaja found Severian. Though the son of a wealthy noble house, he spoke constantly of mastering the secret of alchemy. My sister thought his childlike passion endearing, and he was smitten by her gentle attentions. I wished him naught but happiness. Yet, as was true for many an Eneosian, the night of a calamity brought a brutal end to their joy. I had volunteered to join the Alliance forces, and, perhaps feeling a twinge of our old wanderlust, Venaja chose to join me. It became our last adventure. I have nothing left to remember her by, and even if I did, I would not give it to you. But to forestall Severian's inevitable insistence, I will at least provide you with a direction for your futile quest. You might try speaking with adventurers in the Quicksand or merchants at the Ruby Road Exchange. My sister had a fair share of admirers. Perhaps one of them will hold the key you seek. Did I know Venaja? My, it's been some time since I last heard that name. Venaja and Vibulea, the famous conjurer sisters. Thought myself quite a fortunate fellow indeed to have run across them in my travels. I heard that the elder did not survive a calamity. I should have liked to see her wield that wand of hers one more time. Such grace, such beauty. Venaja, ah yes. I knew her. I always envied her effortless talent. If I tried to actually use the wand of which she was so fond, I would have likely fainted from the exertion. She did let me hold it once though. The exact name of the weapon escapes me, but I could tell it was enhanced with quick-tongue materia. It was a great freestone if it matters. Oh? Oh, the elder of the Conjurer Sisters. Spoke with her once or twice, I did. I was interested in a wand she carried. Budding rosewood, if I recall, and not the standard model neither. Seems she had it specially made. She cut a stunning figure in that robe of hers too. I meant to ask her about it next time we met, but I never got the chance. Such a shame. So, we know about her staff now. A budding rosewood wand of high quality with a quick-tongue materia grade 3. And let's get to crafting. And we can use the other mega potions of mind we made. Because those are made in triplets. And I'm almost certain I've forgotten to get the grade 3 materia, right? Right. Yeah. Melt. Grade 3 quick-tongue materia. A duplicate of her staff. Not the original, but maybe it's enough, right? Considering we have nothing else. Have you acquired a suitable memento to act as Venaja's anchor? I'm sure her sister Vibulea would know if any such object existed. I have a replica of her staff. This is Venaja's rosewood wand. I would recognize it anywhere. You said you crafted this weapon? My wonderful assistant, you are truly full of surprises. Though my love may never have held this particular wand, it is similar enough to the original to serve our purpose. Yes, I could spend the remainder of the day explaining to you the underlying principle of ethereal anchors, but let us carry on with the alchemy, shall we? Now that we have all the necessary materials, I will once again begin the painstaking process. Stay with me this time, my patient apprentice. You deserve to see the fruits of our labors firsthand. The components are in place. We should see a result within moments. It will not be the result we desire. Vibulair. Return to me my sister's remains. You have had your chance, Severian. The process was a success. Everything went perfectly. Even now, Vanasha struggles free from death's covetous grasp. Why do you persist in deluding yourself? The gift of life is not within Alchemist's power to give. That miracle belongs only to the gods. I will not forsake Vanasha's memory as you have. The limitless potential of alchemy is beyond your understanding. Ah, you foolish, stubborn man! Stop. Stop fighting, the both of you. Naja? Is that truly you? Severian, you look awful. Have you been up all night again? Some new subject of research? Vanasha, I was working on something important. Terribly important. But it's done with that. I'm done with that now. I must tell you how sorry I am. When I think back on the days we spent together, I remember naught but your quiet smile as you listened to me blubber on and on about my work. It was ever the same scene, repeated over and over. There was so much more I could have done for you, so many ways I could have made you happy. Please forgive me. My dear Severian, that passion is what I love most about you. And there she fades. She's gone. No, she will never be gone. Not while I am here to remember her. Do you mind if Vibulair has the wand? Though a poor substitute for her sister's body, it has been touched by Vanasha's spirit. As for myself, my regrets have been laid to rest. I may even sleep in a bed this night. It's strange, though it has been scant moments since I stood at the very peak of my discipline. I'm filled with an inexplicable ambition. I stand free to devote myself to new alchemical pursuits. I might even consider shouldering a portion of the guild's commissions. Without your help, I don't know whether I would have survived my obsession. You were, without a doubt, the finest assistant any alchemist could have. I thank you. Now that you have conquered this mountain with me, what will be your next endeavor? The realm of alchemy has no boundaries. The possibilities are endless. This concludes the Alchemist quest for a realm reborn. We continue once we are in Heaven's Ward. Okay. And that is also this episode, I think. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.